Hello, beautiful bookish people. My name is Hannah, and yes, it is true. In fact, I love Taylor Swift.
Yep, that's me.
The other day, I was listening to Lover in the car, as one does, and a thought kind of crossed my mind, and I was like, I know Taylor Swift likes to read. So after doing a little bit of research and finding a quiz on her favorite books, I decided to read 5 of Taylor Swift's favorite books to see if Taylor Swift and I have a similar taste, to see if her lyrical musical talent translates into book recommendations. So that's what we're doing today. We're reading 5 of Taylor Swift's favorite books and letting you know if I liked any of them.
Wow.
We love a good intro. The first book I read for this challenge was actually Gone Girl, which I thought I had read before until I checked Goodreads, and it turned out I haven't. Sorry for that useless information. But it's a good thing because I didn't know any of the twists that were going to happen. I hadn't seen the movie, and it was overall just a really good roller coaster. In fact, if I had to give it a Disney World ride, I would call it the Tower of Terror because it's just kind of spooky the entire time, and you're not entirely sure when the drop is going to be. Starting it off with a good metaphor. So Gone Girl is a domestic thriller that follows Nick and Amy in their marriage as they're both lost in their jobs, and things start to get a little rocky on their 5th wedding anniversary. Amy goes missing. Wow. Whoa. What I've learned from domestic thrillers is that they're pretty much a slow burn, and this one is no different, but I will say it is worth the long line in Disney World because this is the good kush. What's really cool about this book is that it's dual perspectives, and it follows Nick in the present day and also like Amy and her journal entries until they eventually merge in the present, making for like a really suspenseful reading experience because you're kind of slowly putting these pieces together of like why Nick wasn't happy in the marriage, why Amy disappeared, and all this stuff, which I don't know, I thought was a really interesting way to depict their marriage, so that when the little reveals happen towards the end, you have this eventual build-up so it doesn't feel unbelievable. I think there's this really interesting discussion of expectations in the novel. So Amy grew up with parents who made money off of writing books about her. These books were supposed to help parents figure out what kind of kid they are, if they had like a sad Sue or an amazing Amy. And so Amy was the basis off of all of these quizzes. And so you see this pressure of Amy to be perfect her entire life. But like, I couldn't imagine being the inspiration for how my parents make money, but also the pressure that must have been at such a young age. And it was like a really cool origin story. I don't think everybody is gonna like this book because there's literally no likable characters. If you need a character to attach with or to like, this book is not for you. But here's the thing, I love thrillers for that exact reason, in the sense of it allows people to analyze messed up people. The only thing I will say about Gone Girl is that there feels like there's a little character inconsistency, at least at the end, and I'm not gonna go into it because spoilers. But I will say I wasn't completely satisfied with the conclusion of some characters. Instead of Vogue, put me on the cover of Vague.
You better work!
So the next book that I read for Taylor Swift was Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. And to keep the summary kind of short and sweet, it's a memoir about Elizabeth Gilbert traveling Italy, India, and Indonesia. Oh my gosh, they all start with I. Sorry, I had a blank space. And I'll write your name. And it kind of just shows her rediscovering her love of life. Now, this book was huge, and I'm talking like Oprah Book Club huge. It got a movie adaptation, though not a very good one. So society kind of did that thing where something gets too popular and now we ultimately hate it. So I tried to go into this book with an open mind because I enjoyed Elizabeth Gilbert books in the past. So what would be different about this one? And it turns out nothing. I still loved it. I think it's really charming and insightful and vulnerable and just like an overall lovely story, I'm not gonna lie. So I don't understand the like mocking of this book because I actually really liked it. I think possibly the downfall of this book is similar to like Wild in that it was marked as a life-changing book when Elizabeth Gilbert isn't saying you need to go on a year-long vacation to discover your true self. She's simply like documenting her life and vacation and her personal insights, not saying that you should do the same thing, but this is what worked for her. Sometimes I think this book gets thought of as a self-help book, and I don't think that's right. It doesn't give you any solution. It just gives you somebody else's journey. But she never pretends to express her opinions or her journey as universal, which I think it's not a life-changing thing, but the air around it makes it seem like it is, which I think probably is the ultimate downfall of this book. I just don't think it gets enough credit, and I feel bad for Elizabeth Gilbert because this book gets made fun of so often for simply its perception. Next book I read for this experience, I'm scooting over so I put the book here, is Fitzgerald's last novel, Tender in the Night, which follows a couple who stays in a villa in France, surround themselves with a circle of friends, meaning just a bunch of rich white people. The guy in this couple is properly named Dick, and he debates having an affair on his wife, Rosemary. And their relationship becomes very complicated because a guy named Jules was murdered, and then dun dun dun. But not really, because it takes a while to develop anything. With the plot of this book out of the way, I want to tell you it's not about the plot. Hold on, let me get a little pretentious English major on you. It's really the exploration of interpersonal relationships and the love story of that. Okay, thank you. Now that we're done with that, to me, I think it truly is a love story, but about loneliness and like the need to belong. But this sounds weird. What I probably think Taylor got out of this book is the discussion of falling in love, but falling in love with the wrong person. It's a story about broken people and the desire to love them anyway. The thing about this book is it's very much a slow burn. Like, we don't learn that Dick and his wife are married till a good portion into the book, which felt weird to me. So don't read it for the plot if you're an English major and love analyzing the human experience. Go for it. It just takes a while to get there. And the thing is, like with this book, you read this book for the characters, but when a book is so slow and flat in the plot, for me, it's hard to enjoy those other aspects. I just wanted them to move along from their dumb conversations about the weather. Like, oh, I hate conversations about the weather. If you ever meet me, do not talk about the weather with me. I absolutely hate talking about the weather. It also takes a little bit to get introspective with the characters, who on the surface are just rich, privileged people. Like, part 1 of this book is just quite boring, and then part 2 is straight up Freud. And there's like no in between. So if you like the secret history and like slow burn rich people problems, go for it. This book is probably for you. I think I gave it 3 stars. So moving on. Alright, so the next book that I read for this experiment is Normal People. And again, this book is about a relationship between Marianne and Connell, who come from very different backgrounds, and they begin a relationship secretly. And what I mean by relationship is they're just hooking up. It got a lot of praise. I think it got the Man Booker Prize, and then suddenly just a bunch of people hated it. And I get it. I can understand why people don't like it. There's not much of a plot. It jumps between Connell and Marianne's heads interchangeably within the conversation sometimes, and like that can be hard to swallow. But let me tell you, I loved it. It's a love story, but it's a flawed love story where them ending up together was never the point of the story, because the book's end goal is not a happily ever after, and it understands the internal working of people so well. I mean, it's uncanny. I will say, if miscommunication like really grinds your gears, like, don't pick this book up. It is not for you, because yes, this book can be solved if the characters just sat down and had a conversation about their feelings. But, big but, personally, I think this book is more of an exploration why these characters can't do that. They both don't let out their feelings unprompted. They have to be asked, and they have to be asked multiple times for them to get it out. And as kind of a cold-hearted person who is bad at expressing her feelings, I related. Let me tell you, English major rights are in this book. Connell is an English major, and there's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful conversations about literature and what it means to be an English major. And that was just like whipped cream, cherry sprinkles on top of a book that I already love. If y'all remember that book, Flip, but wanted it set in a college and high school with more nuanced conversations about privilege, wealth, and communication, Normal People is for you. I gave it 5 stars. Alright, so the last book I read for this experiment was Stargirl, which I had already read, but another book kind of fell through, so I just decided to reread Stargirl, and I think it was a great decision because I think I have more nuanced opinions on it now. So, Stargirl is narrated by this boy named Leo as a new girl comes into town named, you guessed it, Stargirl. Stargirl is very weird and she doesn't fit in with the rest of her classmates. She's really happy all the time. She plays ukulele for people's birthdays. So this book is really about a kid not having to conform and the standard school places on them and how it's okay to be different and stand out. And it's overall just a really cute story. Is Stargirl a manic pixie dream girl? Yes. But a good one? Also, yes. Contrary to most people's opinion, I actually don't hate the manic pixie dream girl trope. I know! Don't throw tomatoes! Stop! 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 I don't know how I'm gonna edit in tomatoes. Good luck, Hannah.
I did my best, man.
All I'm saying is I don't mind this trope, especially in Stargirl, because I think Stargirl is actually a really fleshed out character. And we explore her internal monologue, and it's not just male focused. And I think that's good. There's this really nice theme woven throughout that it's like, think of others before you think of yourself, and I think that's a really great message if you want to send that to middle schoolers, how the impact of your actions can affect people. And this is weird. It also, all 5 of these books have like a weirdly poetic writing style in different ways. Like, it's beautiful almost in its straightforwardness. Why do I think Taylor Swift likes these books? I think she likes Tender of the Night for its depiction of why we like broken people and our desire to fix them, and Stargirl with the ability to want to stand out and what that does to your reputation. Big reputation, big reputation. I promise I'm not trying to do these Taylor Swift puns. They're just happening naturally. I don't know. In my head, it all makes sense why Taylor Swift likes all these books. So, I don't know. It was actually a really cool experience reading her favorite books, and I even found a new favorite with Normal People. So, I cannot complain. But that kind of wraps it up for this video. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Keep reading and all that jazz. I love a good scare. I can't talk. Nope, we gotta cut that, Hannah. That doesn't make sense. Gosh, dang it. Dang, dang, diggity, dang, a dang. That was the thumbnail.